My craft sticks have been quite popular this year, so here's one more. So if you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button and let's dive in. The materials you'll need for this project are a round cylinder, bolt cutters or wire cutters, needle nose pliers or bail pliers, flat pliers, a steel block for hammering, a hammer, 150 centimeters or 60 inches of 10 gauge wire, and then some beads for the center. I used turquoise, and you can do other beads as well. This craft isn't going to be hard, it's just going to be a little awkward. So I have cleared off my craft table to give myself some room so that the wire doesn't bang. I'm starting with a very long piece of 10 gauge wire. It's actually 100 inches or 250 centimeters. In the end, I will be able to tell the exact amount, but it's with this craft, you can't turn back. So it's better to have more wire than less wire. I'm going to start with a spiral in the center. And the funny thing about this flower that we're doing in the plant garden stick is that it is one of the first decorative flowers I ever learned in 30 years ago in my crafting journey in Mexico. So let's just round your copper wire. I leave it open a little bit in the center so that it's easier because then you can stick your pliers in there and hold it as you do the round spiral. There we go. And this is the first time I've done such a big one of these, but I've done hundreds of little jewelry flowers. So let's see how this one turns out. There we go. Okay, I think that's going to be big enough. There we go. And I'm actually just going to take a moment and hammer the center just to make it more decorative. So stand by. Okay, now that we've hammered, so in jewelry, I would just take this to make it consistent loops. But because I want it bigger, we're going to try it with the mandrel. And we have to remember to go the same when you're wrapping this. So we're going to wrap it around the same size. This is the mandrel, but if you have a cylinder of the similar size, that would be good. And you're just going to wrap it around and under. And you've noticed that this loop is under, so you're going to keep that consistent, and you're always going to wrap it around and under. Okay, so we look at it. Always keep this in when you're moving it. And I'm just going to move it there. And now we're going on to the next loop. Again, keep it consistent. We're going, and a little tricky, but we can do this. There we go. Around and under. There. And if you see that it's not in line, all you do is you take your pliers and you flatten it out. Each time, flatten it out and adjust it to make it nice for the next one. So this one is under the spiral at the moment. So I want to move it out a bit before I start the next loop. Perfect. And then let's do the next one. And around and under. And it just takes practice. You might, if you want to practice with a smaller gauge wire first, that would probably be ideal. Okay, and then I'm going to flatten this out. There we go. Good. And then let's do another one. And on this mandrel, I have to kind of try and keep it on the same size loop. But if you have a cylinder of the same size, it would work better because then you don't have to worry about that so much. There we go. And I've noticed that this is, well, I probably have too much wire here, but that's okay. More wire, the better. This part has gone a little bit over top. It's overlapping, so I'm just taking a moment to adjust. Good. Oh, it's looking so good so far. I'm very excited about this. And this wire right here should be right at the wire, like that, right at the spiral. There we go. Perfect. And squishing it. And I've noticed that we're going to squish that a little bit over. There we go. And just adjust and adjust and adjust. I know it's harder with the 10 gauge wire. Okay. That one is overlapped a little bit, but that's okay. Still looking fine. That just means that I need to have the mandrel a little bit out. Like that. Give it more space. And around and under. If you go under and over, it kind of looks wonky. So make sure you go around and under this wire. And yes, this is making quite a racket. Let's move it over here. Like I said, I've started with a lot of wire because I didn't actually know how much I needed to use. Okay, good. It's looking so good so far. I can't wait. I've been thinking about this one for a long time. You could do it with a 12 gauge wire. But I really, because it's a plant stick, I do love the stability that the 10 gauge wire gives. And of course, for all you in the comments asking me, is it hard or soft? This is electrical wire. And I believe electrical wire is usually soft. Oh, there we go. This is making probably quite a racket in my microphone. Sorry about that. And it's looking so good. I'm keeping it consistent and flattening it each time. Okay, let's do another one. There we go. And if you wanted smaller loops, you could just use, you could absolutely use the biggest part of these bale pliers. I just wanted to try bigger loops because I'm hoping to see if I can put some beads in here. So now I'm seeing that there's space for maybe one, maybe two. And this is where, if you want to just widen it a little bit, or I'm just looking. No, I think because this is a big wire, I'm only going to do one more loop. So I'm going to make sure it is spaced nicely. And it's going around and under, flattening it, and then okay, I'm just checking to see if it's going to work with just these loops. I believe it is. It's always about adjusting. I'm going to do one more. Hopefully it's not too much. One more works perfectly. And then what I'm going to do before I move it down, just adjust, adjust, adjust. And I'm going to take this wire and move it through the first loop like this. And this will bind those loops all together. And then I'm going to pull it through, untwist it. There we go. Pull it through. And normally I would cut this off and loop it through, but because we're doing a stick, I'm not cutting this off. So I'm hoping that it holds form while I do this. I think I twisted it one too much. Okay. Pulling it through. And this is a little tricky, but it will all work out in the end. And now we're going to fold it to keep everything tight. So while we fold it, I'm just going to do that. Perfect. Okay, just take a couple minutes to adjust until you feel satisfied with the flower. You might need to pull it out a bit. And then once you do, I had this nice glass bead that actually fit around the 10 gauge wire. So I'm going to use that. And now I'm going to decorate the stem just a little bit. And then I'm going to add beads in the flower. So we're just going back and forth, a light back and forth, because the garden stick's pretty busy as is. So I didn't want to take away from that. So we're keeping it kind of simple on the stick. There we go. Maybe I'll add another. Do I have another bead? Well, I have a. Oh, this one will fit. Yeah. Gonna put one more bead on. I don't think I need this much, so I'm going to actually cut this off so I can work better. That was a lot of clanging. So that's looking really good so far. And I'm going to add this one. Perfect. And then I'm got to keep it in place. So I got to do some zigzags to keep it in place. Is that going to stay? That one's got such a big hole around it. I might actually have to do a swirl here. So I'm going to do a swirly pattern or a zigzag pattern, and that'll keep it in place. Perfect. And then just design your way down the stick how you'd like it. There we go. Oh, that's looking really good. And I think I'm just going to do a few more. Like that. Good. Perfect. Come back. Maybe I'll do another swirl here. Zigzag. Excellent. And if you don't have these large things, you can wrap wire around it with smaller beads, or just leave it plain. Okay, now that I have this stick, we're going to work on a design in here. I have 22 gauge copper wire, and I have some turquoise beads that I'm going to put in between each one of these. Okay, so when I'm wrapping and it doesn't need structure or stability, I'm finding that the 22 gauge wire is just so easy to work with. So we're just wrapping some beads. And I'm going to put it on the inside, I believe. There we go. Putting the bead on. I do love the turquoise with the copper. And a lot of you in the comments have said that you also love the turquoise with the copper. But if you don't have turquoise, you can also use like beads that shine in the sun. Those would be beautiful. Wrapping it around here. Perfect. And this is just going to take a minute. There we go. And many of you have asked me where I get my beads from. These beads that I have come from my old days when I was an artisan in Mexico. But I will be having links on my website for beads coming soon. So stay. So I'll let you know when that happens. Perfect. Going through. Oh, that's looking cool. Bring another one. Another reason why I would use 22 gauge wire for wrapping beads is because sometimes the beads have such a small hole that 20 gauge wire doesn't work. So that's another reason why I use 22 gauge a lot. And copper garden sticks. Of course, always check what plants you can use copper with. Some plants don't love copper. So just check before you put copper in your garden or in your household plants. Just make sure that they're compatible with copper. I haven't had a problem with any of my copper plant sticks, and so many people in the comments say they are working well for them. But it's always good to check. Perfect. Background. I'd love to hear in the comments below which garden stick was your favorite. Oh my goodness, this was such a fun project. I love it. What do you think? What would you have done differently, or would you have done the same? It is such a cool craft. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.